The other day, I made a video in which I told you about the Senate's override plans. They were planning last week to come back in a special session for the House yesterday, Monday, and today, Tuesday, for the Senate to reconvene to vote on the NDAA if Trump vetoed it, right? That's the override power that they have. They can meet with a supermajority and pass it. And remember, Trump said, in regards to the COVID relief, get rid of the pork, right? The stimulus bill, not the NDAA. He said the stimulus bill, get rid of the pork and make it $2,000. The House met yesterday and had a special vote on whether they would have a single up or down bill to make that stimulus $2,000, okay? Now today, you have Bernie Sanders coming out to threaten, really, a filibuster. That's what he's going to do. He's going to filibuster the NDAA, not the relief bill. So the NDAA. He's saying the NDAA is going to get filibustered if you don't promise to pass in the Senate the 2000. So if you had seen the House passing this yesterday, you probably also saw a lot of punditry around they're going to have a hard time getting it through the Senate. Mitch McConnell already agreed to 600. He's not going to want to go to 2,000. You're going to have a lot of people in the Senate, and a lot of Republicans in the Senate refusing 2,000 for the people. And so it was a great way for Trump to get 2,000 per person to say, make it a standalone bill and get rid of the pork. Now that gives them the option to keep the pork for the 45 days that he has. And because that's what the stay is in the bill, right? He's going to redline and itemize these pork items, and they have 45 days to get rid of them or to get rid of him. But they're going to get the $2,000 then, if that's how they want to play it. Or they do this. They pass the standalone $2,000 bill. $2,000 direct payment bill, I should say. So wouldn't that be funny if they had a $2,000 bill? That's probably in the future, in the next couple hundred years, if we can survive that long, if this republic lasts, if we can keep it. This says, Senator Bernie Sanders is vowing to filibuster the Senate's upcoming attempt to override the president's veto of the annual military spending bill. So that's the NDAA, right? He wants to force a clean vote on the legislation passed by the House, as I said, which would be a one-time $2,000 direct payment to struggling Americans. He says, quote, Mitch McConnell wants to vote this week to override Trump's veto on the $740 billion defense funding bill and then head home for the new year. I'm going, Bernie says, to object until we get a vote on legislation to provide a $2,000 direct payment to the working class. So, in short, his plan, well, he'll continue for a second. Let me be clear. If Senator McConnell doesn't agree to an up or down vote to provide the working people of this country a $2,000 direct payment, Congress will not be going home for the New Year's Eve, Sanders added. Let's do our job. So this is weird. And not weird that that accent was terrible, and not weird that you have Bernie trying to do something for the populist left, because that's kind of been his MO. And you've heard this from other people. Bernie was the populist left. Trump was kind of the populist right. And one of them cucked out in the primaries. One of them sold into the idea that the committee could actually control the candidate instead of the candidate driving the committee, which is what you saw with Trump. Trump said the GOP is going to answer to me, and the RNC is going to be, kind of my whipping boy for as long as I need it to be. Though you notice now the RNC is not doing much to help Donald Trump. They're only looking at other Republicans and trying to fluff them up. The GOP itself isn't doing much for Trump, but in certain states. But you have Bernie here all the same, still in the Senate, vowing he's going to filibuster the NDAA unless the other senators promise to pass the $2,000 standalone bill. So they're not the same bill. It's not that he's filibustering the NDAA to get $2,000 stimulus checks added. It's that he wants that standalone $2,000 stimulus check bill already passed in the House to pass in the Senate. And to force that, he's saying, I'm leveraging my filibuster rights and power over this NDAA, so I'll filibuster your override. I'll allow Trump, this is Bernie Sanders saying, I will allow Trump to veto the NDAA and force you all to stay here over break. Or you give everyone $2,000 direct payment. Stick says politics makes interesting bedfellows or odd bedfellows. It's an interesting thing to see Bernie Sanders siding with Trump against who we are now seeing for what they really are, the establishment. In all, you have the hard left and the hard right. And I mean the hard in terms of their resolve to stay in power. The establishment having paid off so many people for decades that their entire political career rides on them staying in those offices. We don't even know how many of them there are, but we do know that the list is too short of people that voted both on the NDAA and COVID relief with Trump in the House. Those Republicans, I think there's like 10. It's a very short list. And you saw with this vote to say no to Trump's most recent proposal on this in the House, how many Republicans voted against this, the standalone bill? Republicans voted for the pork bill with $600. Trump said, no, make it $2,000 just for the people. And they voted no. The only change was that they didn't include the pork and they did include money for people, and the Republicans voted no. So now you have Bernie Sanders saying, I'm going to filibuster your military budget unless you agree to the payments for the people separately. My only question would be, if he is in the process of filibustering the NDAA, how do they then also vote to pass? I mean, you don't get like a bunch of people to sign on to an agreement and then later say, oh, well, we changed our mind as soon as you stepped off of your podium. As soon as you were done filibustering, Bernie, we decided, we're not going to do that $2,000 direct payment. I don't know how that works, but that's what he's trying to do. He's leveraging his filibuster over the NDAA to try to get everyone who makes $75,000 or less a $2,000 one-time check. I think it could be better. I mean, it's a little roadblock idea. It's funny, even the best ideas from the left are just obstacles to the right, and it's not even a bad. It's an observation. I don't think it's a good idea. I think there are better ways to do this, but of course, Trump has not enacted the Insurrection Act yet. There has not been a military move yet, so we just have to continue to watch this weird marble game play out. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think this is the wisest move we could make? Do you think that it's smart that Bernie Sanders says, well, I'm just going to filibuster the NDAA? If you don't pay people their money back when they need it, if you're not going to J.G. Wentworth these folks, 877 cash now, then how are we going to say we are going to fund the military, but we're not going to fund the people? It's backwards. So I agree that he's saying, let's filibuster. I'll filibuster this military budget if it means getting the people the checks. But I want to see a little bit more of an explanation as to how this filibuster actually translates to $2,000 per person being agreed to without ending his filibuster. Let me know in the comments if you know that. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and do everything else that you can do with your notification bell turned on to keep America afloat.